This video is about how to use your TInSpire calculator to solve a linear system of equations in circuit analysis. This video will not cover the principles of linear algebra or how we got these equations from our circuits. This video assumes you have already set up your equations, but now want to enter them into your TInSpire CX calculator. I will briefly talk about how the linear algebra setup relates to the circuit analysis setup and how to enter that information into your calculator. Matrix multiplication is a linear algebraic principle. You are solving multiple equations with multiple unknowns. With the sample equations below, we are going to assume you have worked your problem and have the following set of equations. This is a 3 by 3 matrix. That means it has 3 rows and 3 columns. X plus y plus z equals 4. 2x minus y minus z equals 2. X minus 2y plus z equals 7. Remember, that is the same as 1x plus 1y plus 1z equals 4, and also 2x minus 1y minus 1z equals 2, and 1x minus 2y plus 1z equals 7. That gives us the matrix below. You can see here's the linear algebra setup. You have a 3 by 3 matrix multiplied by a 1 by 3 matrix equals another 1 by 3 matrix. Comparing both, you see how they're both related and how they're both set up. This equation is now in the form of A times X equals B. If you put it in the calculator like this, you will get a system error. To solve this equation for X, Y, and Z, you must put the information in the calculator in this form. The matrix A raised to the negative 1 power multiplied by the matrix B will give you X, or the unknowns. So what you would need to do is put in the calculator like this. Create a 3 by 3 matrix, raise that to the negative 1 power multiplied by 3 by 1 matrix, and then when you hit enter, you'll get the following answer. The 2, negative 1, 3 means x equals 2, y equals negative 1, and z equals 3. Okay, now that's nice for linear algebra. What about circuit analysis? I first went over the matrix setup for linear algebra because the setup is the same for circuit analysis. In the example below, we are trying to solve for voltages, but the setup is the same even if you are trying to solve for current. You must pay attention in class on how to set up your equations. Remember this example above? This is exactly the same as x equals v1, y equals v2, and z equals v3. So compare the equation above to this one. 1v1 plus 1v2 plus 1v3 equals 4. 2v1 minus 1v2 minus 1v3 equals 2. 1v1 minus 2v2 plus 1v3 equals 7. Well, that gives us the matrix below. And as you can see, it is exactly the same, except for instead of x, y, and z, we have v1, v2, and v3. Again, this puts the equation in the form of ax equals b. And also, same as before, if you put it in the calculator like this, you will get a system error. To solve this equation for the voltages, you must put the information in the calculator in this form. Matrix A raised to the negative 1 power multiplied by matrix B gives you your unknown x. Well, in our case, x is v1, v2, and v3. So you'll need to put it in the calculator like this. Create a 3 by 3 matrix, raise it to the negative 1 power multiplied by a 3 by 1 matrix, and when you hit enter, you'll get this answer. This means v1 equals 2, v2 equals negative 1, and v3 equals 3. Now I will show you exactly how to do this on your TInSpire CX. Okay, when you first turn on your TInSpire calculator, you'll see a screen that looks very similar to this. What you need to do is come over here to the little calculator button and click that. This will give you a little scratch pad for your calculations. If you accidentally hit it twice, you'll be brought over to the screen for the graphing function. No big deal. Just hit it again and you'll be brought back to your scratch pad. Or it's the exact same thing as clicking up here. So what we need is our scratch pad to enter in our matrix and our other calculations. So the first thing we need to do is create a 3 by 3 matrix. In order to do that, you'll come over to this button right here, click on that. You'll see several matrices in the second row. And you'll see over here that there's a 3 by 3 matrix. And of course, that's what we need right now, 3x3 matrix. But when looking at this, you might realize, oh, I might need a different size of matrix. Well, the good thing is if you click on the 3x3 matrix, it quickly takes you to a screen to create a matrix for the size you need. For this particular one, we need a 3x3 matrix. But if we needed a different one, like let's say we needed a 3x1 matrix, you can either use your arrows right here to increase, or you can just go over here and enter in the number you need. But again, this time we need a 3x3 matrix. So we can either click OK here or just hit enter. When you click on OK, you'll quickly see these little boxes or cells that you can enter in your information. Now for our first row, we have 1, 1, 1. So that's easy. You can just click 1, tab, 1, tab, 1. And then you can click tab again. It'll take you to the next row. On the next row, we just enter in 2, tab, but now we have a -1. What you need to do is hit the button right here. The negative symbol, or the minus symbol in parentheses, this is for a negative value. Don't confuse it with this. This is for subtraction. So we're going to click -1, tab, -1, tab. Now it goes to the next row. In the next row, we have 1, and I've been hitting tab this whole time, but you actually can come up here and click on these buttons. These are these arrow buttons, whether you need to go back up, down, left, right, or just wherever. These buttons will help you quickly get where you need to go. Now for the very next one, we need a -2. Tab, and we finish off with just 1. Now I can hit tab again, or if I click on this, it takes me outside of this matrix. Now we need to raise this matrix to the power of -1. For that, you'll come over here, click this little caret symbol, and you're given a new cell to enter in the information. So we're going to go -1 because we're raising this to the power or exponent of -1. Now I'm going to click to the right to enter in the rest of my information. Although before I do that, I want to show you something. Right now, I'm out of this cell. I'm out of this matrix, and I can multiply. But let's say I was still inside this cell, and I click multiply. Well, you can see it would multiply whatever was in here. It still thinks I want to enter in information into this cell. So I'm going to hit delete. Again, click to get out of that cell, and now I'm going to multiply by a new matrix. To create a new matrix, I'm going to go back over here to this symbol for a 3x3 matrix, because this is where I can create a new matrix, because I need a 3x1 matrix. And you'll see, if I just clicked on this, there are no 3x1 matrices. So I have to create one. And same as before, to enter in my information, 4, tab, 2, and just to show you that you can just click down and enter in 7. I'm going to click here to get out of that matrix. Okay, and after I click enter, I get 2, -1, 3. What that means is V1 equals 2, V2 equals -1, and V3 equals 3. And these are the values we expected. That example was pretty easy and pretty straightforward. What I love about this calculator is how much time it saves you. You can have a problem and have a matrix set up that's not nice and neat like before. In some of your nodal and mesh analysis, you're first going to get fractions. And that's okay, your calculator can handle that. Here's an example we worked through in a circuit analysis class. Again, I'm not going to go into details about how we got this answer or the principles. This is just about how you can enter in this information into your calculator. You can see in this example at V1, we have several fractions that equal 0. V2 is pretty straightforward. V2 equals 24. But of course, on the third line at V3, we have a lot of fractions. And that's okay. If you're working out your problem and you get to this point, you can go ahead and start entering in the information into your calculator. You see how the matrix is set up below? You can enter that information into your calculator just like that, and you will get the answer you need. You don't have to take time to multiply through, get a nice, clean, even number. This will save you a lot of time. And now I'm going to show you how to create and enter in this information into your calculator, and you'll get the same answers that you see in this example. Once again, when you turn on your calculator, you'll more than likely have this screen. When you click on your calculator button, you'll be brought to the scratch pad. And again, if you accidentally hit it twice, you'll be brought to your graphing function. You can just hit it again and it'll go right back to your scratch pad. So, as we have here, if you remember from the example I just showed you, we have a 3x3 matrix raised to the -1 power multiplied by a 3x1 matrix. And we're trying to get V1, V2, and V3. And again, remember, V1 is like X, V2 is like Y, V3 is like Z. Okay, so we need to create another 3x3 matrix. So again, you'll come over to this button right here, click it. You'll click on the symbol for 3x3 matrix, and then it already has 3x3. We can click OK or hit Enter. Again, we're brought up with a 3x3 matrix that have the individual cells. And here is one of the great things I love about this calculator. Now, you can enter in a fraction. If you hit Control in the division, you'll actually be given this right here. It's like a division problem you would write on a paper, a place for your numerator and denominator. Now, for this particular problem, though, we have 1 over 2k plus 1 over 2k in an entire cell. Just to keep things straight and make sure your problem works out nice and clean, I strongly suggest doing it this way. Come over to your parentheses. Now hit Control, Divide, and you'll see the little symbol for what we're doing right here. You'll see that little blue symbol right above the division sign. And you'll enter in 1, tab, 2, and for 2k you can hit 10 raised to the 3rd power. And you don't have to hit 2 multiplied by 10 to the 3rd power. The calculator knows you want to multiply that number by 10 raised to whatever power you put it. And this time is 10 to the 3rd, which of course this right here means 2k, 2000. Since we're still in this little cell right here and we hit plus, it thinks you want to add a number to your exponent, which is not what we want to do. So we're going to click out of here to get out. Look where your cursor is. Your cursor is still in the denominator. You don't want that, so let's hit it again. Now it's outside, and we're going to hit plus. We're going to hit Control Divide in order to give us room to enter in another fraction. This right here, we also have another 1 over 2k. So just like before, we're going to hit 1 tab 2 raised to the 3rd power. And then we're going to click to get out of that, go to the next cell, which is 0, click to the next cell, and that's a -1 over 2k. And since we're just entering in this one fraction, we don't have to put in parentheses. But if you want to get in the habit in order to keep things nice and neat, or get in a regular rhythm, a regular pattern, it's up to you. You don't have to add parentheses, but just for consistency, I will. I'm going to enter in parentheses, Control, division symbol, and just like before, we're entering in -1, so we don't hit this. This is for subtraction. This is -1. Tab 2k, which is 2000, and that's 2 times 10 to the 3rd. Now I'm going to hit tab a few times to get down to the next cell. For whatever reason, if you see you've made a mistake or need to change information above or below, you can always come up to here, click on the arrows in order to get where you need to get to. And now I'm back into this cell. This is just 0, tab, 1, tab, 0, tab, final row. Now you see we have several fractions. If you have a single fraction, like I said before, you don't have to use parentheses. I'm going to use it just for consistency and visual simplicity. So parentheses, Control, Divide. Again, -1, tab, 2, raised to the 3rd power, tab. Okay, and now we have -1, tab, 4, 10 to the 3rd power, which is, of course, 4k. Go into the final cell. If you see this part of the parentheses that's gray, you can go back and close it and it'll be black, but it really doesn't matter. The calculator knows you meant to close this parentheses. So I'm going to tab over to the next one. And now this one, since we have 3 fractions that are added together, I am definitely going to use my parentheses. Trust me, this helps keep things nice and neat. And at the end, I'm going to show you a little problem you run into sometimes if you don't use parentheses. But for now, we have another fraction. So we have 1, tab, 2, raised to the 3rd power. And we're going to move over till we're out of the fraction. Hit plus, Control, Divide. 1 tab 4 10 raised to the third, which is 4k. Going to click till we get out of that fraction, plus then our last one, control divide 1 tab, and we have 2k, which is of course 2 times 10 to the third, and going to get out of that and close parentheses. Now we have, you will see right here, we have our whole matrix. Our 3x3 very complicated matrix, but we didn't have to go through, multiply through a common denominator, and get these into nice, neat, round numbers. We assumed if you have a problem where you worked it out and you have these fractions, you can go ahead and save yourself some time and enter in the information just like this. Now again, we're at the end of our 3x3 matrix. We're going to need to raise this to the -1 power. So come over here, click the caret symbol, then raise to the -1. You're going to need to click to get out of that cell, multiply by, and now we need to do a 3x1 matrix. Click the button, it will give you your options. Click the symbol for 3x3, and now we have 3 rows and 1 column. So again, like I said before, you can click the arrows, or you can just come over here and type in 1, click OK, or enter, either one. And if you noticed, our first number is -6 milliamps. So what you'll do is hit -6 raised to 10 to the -3, and that gives you a -6 milliamps. So now we're going to need to hit tab, and you see when I hit tab, since I had it up here raised to the third power, it just got out of that cell and it's still beside it. In order to go down to your next cell, you need to hit tab again. You have to pay close attention to that. But if you mess up, it's easy to go back up, click over, and delete or add whatever you need to. Alright, so the next cell we need to enter in 24, tab 0. And let's get out of that, and now we can hit enter, and we have -9 halves, 24, and 3, which that's a perfectly good, solid answer. But if you want to get a decimal answer and you're given a fraction, right above the enter button, you have this almost equal to symbol. If you hit control, enter, you now see you have -4.5, 24, and 3. So if you're given a fraction as an answer and you need to get a decimal answer, that's how you can go about doing it. One little problem or one little caveat you might run into with the TInSpire that I'm going to go ahead and warn you about ahead of time. Let's say you're trying to enter in 1/2k like we were doing before, but instead of setting it up like I showed you with doing control divide with this, and you just want to do regular division, you'll possibly run into a little problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1 divided by 2 raised to the third power and hit enter. You see, now we run into this slight little problem. This is not 1/2k. It thinks we're doing 1/2 times 10 to the third. This is one little problem you might run into and you need to look out for. So once you get used to your calculator, sometimes it's just easier to get into the habit of doing control, divide, 1, tab, 2, 10 to the third. See? It automatically sets it up. It knows exactly what you want, and you can move on, and you can add it by anything, or so on and so forth. I just thought I'd go ahead and give you that little heads up. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope this video helps. If so, please hit like and subscribe. Hope you have a good day.